Hello, Mike and Moose here, and today I'm going to break down what you really get when you roll the dice and buy budget kits on eBay. Next on Modeling with Mike. Alright, welcome back. First of all, we're going to show you some screenshots of some eBay items. Two items that I have bought myself. First one will be a Yak 7 UTI 148 kit. It's a Soviet fighter trainer from ICM. And this one, you already know, it's the old ZR1 kit from AMT Ertl, both of which I bought from eBay, and both have totally different outcomes. So the first listing will be for the ZR1. Now notice on this listing you have one of two pictures, and it's just both of the box, and it shows the price $14.99 plus $11 shipping. Let me add that the original listing for the kit I bought is not on eBay anymore, so this is pretty much as close as I could get to it, to the original listing. But it pretty much replicates it, only this one was like $10 or something like that, with like $8 or $9 shipping, I believe. As you can see, it says new, one available, unassembled kit, and then it has a full description. On my original listing that I bought this off of, it had no description at all. It just said one of 30, pick your choice, one of 30 kits, box open, parts sealed. And that basically all it said. As you can see, it's a low price. The shipping's a little high. Does have nice pictures to it. Does have the cellophane around the box. This one didn't. And seller says it's new, unassembled kit, and then it has a full description. On mine, it said it was used. It said that the parts were bagged and the bags were sealed, and yeah, the box was open. Let's go to the second item, and that is this Yak 7 UTI Soviet fighter trainer 148 scale from ICM. As you can see, this is the original listing. It's still on there. That's because I bought it earlier this year. It says last item available, has a price of $9.09. No, it's had free shipping on it apparently. Says it's new, last one available, has the brand. The only thing it said on the description is Shelf J4, and then it gave the name of the model, scale, maker, and Shelf J4. That's all it says. So pretty much I took a gamble on this. Let's look at what actually arrived. This kit, you just saw it. We just finished the build series on this. You saw the problems that there was with it. Let me open it up. Now, like the listing said, the parts were bagged. The bag was sealed. Came with these instructions. Okay. Obviously printed off something. Okay. It was printed either off ScaleMates or off the book itself. I don't know, but the print here is so small I can't even read it. The box condition was pretty good. Like I said, the parts were packaged all right. The bag was sealed. However, there were like 6 parts missing out of it. How did that happen? How did that happen? I don't know. I have no idea. So I pretty much got shafted on this. On the other hand, the Yak 7, the box was in condition, the same condition as was in the picture. The parts were in the bag. I had to open the bag myself to take a look at them. Basically, the only thing I could see wrong, it doesn't look like it's warped or bent in any way. The plastic is very thin, though, in this kit. The clear parts are very good. The only thing I could see, it has minimal detail on it, but my main problem with this is the plastic is very thin. It's very thin. It's going to be hard to handle and cut off the sprues without breaking anything. And there's a little flash on here. There's a little bit of flash. But overall, it's not too bad at all. And I'll put this up here on the table with a full set of original ICM decals, and it comes with full instructions. The original instructions as opposed to the Z1 kit. Original instructions that make sense. So basically, I have no problems with this kit. I pretty much got what I was promised. Now, again, let's look through the quality of each kit. The plastic quality, very thin on the ICM kit. The plastic quality, I'll show you the finished model. The plastic quality, I had no problem with the plastic quality on this. It was the missing parts, the engineering, and the fit that I had big problems with on that. Part molding, basically on this, there's some flash on the Russian plane. On the car, wasn't too bad. I mean, lots of good detail. The parts were molded great. They just didn't fit together, and there were missing parts. Instructions clarity, I went over that. Original instructions on the ICM Russian plane. Printed out instructions that the instructions were too damn small to read on the ZR1 car. And the ZR1 had 6 missing parts to it. The Yak 1 or Yak 7 plane, from what I see, all the parts are there. I compared when I took the sprues out, I compared them to what was on the instructions. They matched, so nothing's missing. Let's look at some pros and cons of buying eBay kits cheaply. The pros are affordability. Most of these kits are less than $15. You can find, you can find a lot more expensive kits. You can find kits less than that, but a lot of them, you punch in less than $20 or $0 to $20 in your price range, you'll find hundreds of kits on there you could buy. So affordability, yeah, that's a pro. Nostalgia factor. A lot of these are kits that people are selling out of their stash. So you're going to find a lot of kits that aren't made anymore. Older kits, classic kits. And you also will find unusual kits you can't find anywhere else. Like I just said, a lot of these are people emptying out their stash and selling it. And a lot of these are rare kits and kits that aren't made anymore. You can't find them at Sprue Brothers or Mega Hobby or Hobby Lobby or Airfix website or Revell's website or any other company's website. You can't find them. Let's talk about some cons. The cons to buying cheap eBay kits: no quality control. What you get is what you get, and you basically have to go by what you see on the listing to whether you know what you're getting or not. Missing parts. ZR1 kit, prime example. Poor instructions. Again, ZR1 kit, great example of that. Questionable value. All these cons put together, is it worth the price you're paying? Ask yourself that. Yeah, you gotta ask yourself that. So as far as cheap eBay kits are concerned, sure, you can save money up front, but you might pay for it later on in frustration. Let's talk about who should and shouldn't buy these cheap eBay kits. Number one, they're great for kit bashers. Some of these are incomplete, so if you want to just kit bash and throw a couple of things together, buy a couple of these cheap eBay kits, let your mind go. It'd be great for that. Budget modelers, like most of us on this channel, that don't have the money to buy a $30, $40, $50 kit. Nostalgia hunters, like I said before, a lot of these are vintage kits that aren't made anymore. And beginners who don't mind experimenting because of the price, go ahead, experiment. You're not losing that much, money if the experiment goes wrong, and you're gaining experience at the same time. Now, it's not great for detail purists. As we saw with the Yak 7, there's not much detail on it. All the detail on your dash, all the knobs, all the gauges are on a decal. People who want shake and bake builds, or if you're wanting Tamiya or any modern quality, don't go eBay, because you're not going to get it. Like I said before, a lot of these are people getting rid of their stash or cutting down their stash, selling off part of it. And a lot of these kits have been sitting in a stack or with stuff on top of them in boxes and stuff, and they might be warped, they might be broke, they might, God knows what. Roll the dice. I want to underscore all this whole video, I want to share with you a post that a member of my Facebook group, the Frugal Scale Modeler, his name's Bernard Dye, and this is the post he made just today. He says, just picked up a used kit on eBay. Tip for model buyers, always check the kit right away when you receive it. If there are any problems, you can contact the seller to resolve or file an item not as described return with eBay. In my case, it was a pair of auto kits. Decent price, but it was not disclosed in the description or pictures. Pay attention here. It was not disclosed in the description or pictures that one of the kit bodies was broken and that the kit had been partially started. I ended up keeping the kits. I can repair the broken parts, and the price was still pretty good for the pair. But if you ever need to file for a return, there's a limited window to do so, which is why I recommend reviewing the kit immediately on receipt. That just sort of underscores everything I've said in this video. And I want to thank Bernard for posting that. So, cheap eBay kits, hidden treasure or plastic trash? Honestly, it's a gamble. You can find some fun surprises, but you've got to be ready for warped plastic, missing parts, and instructions that don't make a damn bit of sense. For me, they're hit or miss. I've gotten some great kits. I've gotten some dogs. For everybody, number one, that post on the eBay, the post on the Facebook group page underscores everything. Check out what you get right when you get it. Open it all up and look at what you've got. Make sure it's all good. And really, before you shop eBay, I have a video in my playlists that takes you through step by step what you need to look for in every listing to keep from getting taken or scammed, or at the best, getting a bad deal. If you make sure you look at that before you go to eBay and buy anything from that. So that brings me to the question, have you ever bought a cheap kit off eBay? Tell me your story in the comments below. Always love to hear from you. Remember, if you like what you've seen or heard, don't forget to press the like and subscribe button. Also, anybody who's new to the channel or who hasn't done it yet, feel free to go to the Facebook group page, the Frugal Scale Modeler. You just go to Facebook, go to the groups tab, type in the Frugal Scale Modeler. It'll take you right to the page, and all you have to do is answer 3 membership questions and agree to the group rules. Once I see all that, I'll approve you to start posting. Easy as that. So next video is going to be the impact. We're going to take a look at the impact of social media on the scale modeling hobby. That should be very interesting. So that's all I've got for today on this one. You guys all know what we always say around here. Never stop pushing your modeling boundaries. And until next time, bye-bye.